Well, the Shelter FootyCast live from BackChat Studios. I feel like I've just walked out of the Leadable Hotel. It wasn't the Shelter FootyCast there, it was Wild World of Sports. A great night last night at the Leady. Thanks for having us down there. Skeeter joins me. Hello, mates.
Hello, Scully. A lot of your BackChat sponsors and clients and 6PR people were there. So, no, it's a good night, really good fun. And
you left.
I did leave, yeah. I mean, people ring us saying you're going to the hippie. Mate, I am not a party. Those days, absolutely, I was like you. I'd be going out and doing this and that. But now, pretty much, I like going to the odd lunch, etc. But I'm not a midweeker. I'm a weekend specialist.
Yeah, but we know that. And people are winding you up. People know you don't just roll into hippie club. Like, people know you're not walking around smoking darts, driving. If you get wound up, and like, I don't want to.
I went home, yes.
I went home. I wasn't going to get it. Like, the anti-mask stuff, I don't know if you saw that. I did. I did want to talk about that. And this isn't anywhere other than it's just come to my mind because it's a bit the same. Like, I really do think with people out and about, and you're talking about people texting in, and you and I aren't celebrities, right? But people come up and have a chat to us. And I firmly believe that the interactions you have with people, it's a two-way street. I say pissed people all the time. I got drunk idiots at me all the time. If you just put on a bit of off a duck's back and shrug your shoulders, put a smile on your face, mate, in 20 years, I reckon I could count on one hand bad interactions I've had.
And I'll back you up with that. What I'll say is, person to person, and I very rarely have many people come up and pot you face to face. It's on the text line and it's on social media, because it's easy. Yeah, it's fine because that's the way they operate.
But you've been to the footy drinking. You've been out drinking. Mate, you're not. I know for a fact you're not getting into blues with people. And
no.
I saw Andy's comments around too many piss people at the footy. I completely disagree with that, to be honest.
But that might be his experience, though.
Yeah, but it's a two-way street. Is my point. I think it's a little bit of the eye of the beholder, that sort of stuff. Because again, I'm not bloody celebrity like Andy is or anyone else, but every time I ever go out, I've got people coming at me.
No, but I think what he's referring to, and having my family having gone without me to the footy, they said some of the language that is used at times at the footy, and I'm the old school. You don't start using certain words around women. I just think. And kids, and I think you'd be the same. Well, I know you're quite relaxed, and you're at the footy. You can do what you want a bit, but that's what I think he's referring to, as opposed to going, don't get pissed at the footy, that sort of stuff. But anyway,
well, it looked like it was off the back of that personal experience, and I think you just got to shrug your shoulders a little bit sometimes, and not to get too carried away, and not be too high and mighty about the interaction you have with other people, because it's up to you. But as well.
I think he was concerned about some of the language that's used, which, you know what. You go to the footy, you should be allowed to sit there and not listen to idiots. Carry on.
It's a good point, Skater. It's a good point, mate.
Like us last night. Although you did kick on, as you should, with some of your clients, the lady and...
Yeah, I split a few G's. I was just in there splitting G's.
What are G's?
Guinnesses. Guinness split the G on the glass. Okay. You drink Guinness? Nah, you're not a Guinness man.
I'm not a Guinness man.
No, you're not. You're a shelter man.
I'm a shelter man, and then I just go to some dirty water.
Welcome to the Shelter FootyCast, guys, where we talk about absolutely nothing. It's great to have you, and you're right. Got to meet some of the guys down there. Steve from Homewise Solar was down there. He will be with us for the rest of the year, which was great. Adam from MSH was down there, our new sponsors as well. So it was nice of you to get out the door 1 minute after you're off stage to meet all your sponsors.
You had a quiz happening. And you know what? I'm pretty boring during the week. Went home. It was rainy. It was cold. And that's all I had to say about the issue.
People were like, where's Skeeter? Where's Skeeter?
No, they didn't. No one gave a rat's where I was.
But anyway, it was a great night. Good fun. And let's get into the show. I will say off the top, the BackChat Ale, love that a lot of you have been getting around that, selling out very quickly. Jump onto the Shelter website, shelterbrewing.com.au. You can get your BackChat Ales there. And you can tell us if the footy's better with BackChat Ales. We need to get some of that into you, though. The official release date is next weekend, which we will be doing the BackChat bus. If you don't have tickets on the BackChat bus, go and get them. I spoke to a few people last night who are on it. I think there's about 15 tickets left on that bus, Skeeter. So I know you'll be working away like you always will, but me, Masto, all the Shelter crew will be on 3 venues around town, starting at the Gate, going to the Wembley, finishing at the Leedy, call past Hammer and the Waffle. beers on the bus all day.
What time does this event actually finish?
Beers on the bus. Well, no, there's no finish time, absolutely. And if we're finishing illegal, you know where we'll be.
You know what? The issue with that is, for someone like Hammer or myself coming to join you for a drink at the end of the day, and everyone's been there.
No, well, it's where it starts. We're starting at 2. It's not 11 a.m.
But if we get there at 6, it's still...
That's only 4 hours.
Yeah, but you don't know what 4 hours can on a bus.
Well, I do.
Then some of the conversations. Yes, Go, you told me that 2 minutes ago. Or
tickets are, look, don't quite remember. They're $50 or $60 and you got beers all day.
Hey, I heard that. That's a good value.
So I just heard that taxes on beers are being frozen across the country for 2 years, thanks to whoever's running the country now.
Anthony Albanese, the Prime Minister.
Thanks, Elbow. Good on you. You're an Aussie bloke. Freezing taxes. Anyway, I think that's good for shelter. It should be anyway.
Yep.
So get on the bus and enjoy that. Let's get into the footy, Skate. Too much ramble from me at the start of this one. There's a bit of contract stuff floating around, which is probably worth touching on. I'm going to start with this one because I've got something that I think is opposite to what's being put out there. Charlie Curnow potentially open to a move to Gold Coast, Sydney or Geelong. I think putting a line through Sydney and Geelong. I think the Gold Coast side of things, I know him and his family. I went to school with his brother.
No, it's good. You've got tentacles everywhere.
And his brother married both my brothers. His dad is Chaplain Dave Curnow.
I didn't know you had the link that close.
So Geelong College, Dave Curnow is a chaplain down there.
You're almost just outside the bubble.
I'm basically Charlie Curnow's brother. I'm the long lost brother. Shout out Charlie. No, I went to school with his sister Eliza, and Ed and I played footy together.
That's good.
Broke the 4x800 metre record. And now I go around to Charlie's house for pasta when I'm in Melbourne. No, that doesn't happen. He loves surfing. I don't know why more of these guys don't do this.
There's a wave park near the hangar in Essendon.
The Gold Coast. The Gold Coast. It's like, here's your contract, here's the wave pass. Here you go. That's actually good. Destination Club, Essendon. I think that Charlie Curnow, the interest in Gold Coast is clearly real. And Carlton's come out, Voss has come out. He's a Carlton man. He's not going anywhere. Charlie Curnow goes to Gold Coast.
As soon as 2026?
Yep.
Graham Wright will have a say in that, obviously, in terms of he's contracted. But it also, the Gold Coast Suns, and I don't know how they're travelling for salary cap and space. I mean, clearly he'd be a great acquisition, but how that deal gets done remains to be seen.
They need to do it. Carlton.
Oh, I thought you said the Gold Coast. Yeah, all right.
Carlton need to. Gold Coast don't need to, but I mean, he would be just sugar. Imagine King and Curnow.
Yeah, but so if you're Carlton, wouldn't you preferably lose Mackay as opposed to Curnow? I think you're prepared to give up one, aren't you, but not both?
Sure, yeah.
And Charlie's indicated, Harry hasn't. So that
correct. And you're certainly not going to come out in the media and there's rumours floating around Charlie Curnow and say, yeah, no worries, we're going to ship him off to Gold Coast. You're going to come out exactly what they've done and said, nah, Carlton player, so you get the highest value. We don't want to lose him. Best player ever. Never going to get rid of him.
3 first rounders, give us that, all that sort of stuff.
He's gone. He's as good as gone.
The question I ask you is, just quickly, we talk about he wants to go to the Gold Coast Suns. So, in essence, despite the fact that we've got great beaches here and we've got a beautiful... we live in a great city. The destination of Perth for Charlie Curnow doesn't really come into play because he's still going to be 2 hours out of Melbourne. You just wonder, we as WA clubs never seem to be in the conversation for a Victoria...
A lifestyle push.
Lifestyle's great.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it just feels like the Gold Coast for them is obviously a little bit closer. The difference is that goldfish bowl that Harley Reid's gone through that he won't have to endure up on the Gold Coast. And I think he's a pretty quiet bloke. I hardly ever hear him speak publicly. So maybe that's part of it. A bit like going to Sydney for a lot of, like Plugger back in the day.
Yes.
That they want to get to a city that they can go about their business and it's all about the Titans and the Broncos and the Burleigh Pavilion and not about the AFL club.
Anyway, I'll bring it up at family dinner this weekend with the Curnows. We'll see what happens. All right, Marcus Bontempelli will be a Bulldog for life. Skeeter, 4-year deal. He is done and dusted. He's not going anywhere. He's not captaining West Coast. He's not doing any of that.
When did that story come out? Remember he was supposed to be West Coast?
He was a captain of West Coast. He would have implanted that, I reckon, to get a better deal. I mean, I think that's great for the Bulldogs.
He's one of the most... I don't think there's anybody that doesn't regard him as one of the most admired players in the competition in the last decade. And in fact, if you're going to pinpoint it, behind Ted Whitten, officially the second greatest ever Bulldog after their function during the week. So the Bont, again, the only thing missing from his resume, obviously made another premiership would be nice, but a Brownlow medal, I think. I think he's deserving of that category. Whether it comes his way, not so sure.
Why is there so much trade stuff floating around at the moment? So those two, I mean, that's a deal done, obviously, but the other interesting one is Melbourne trying to get Joe Danaher out of retirement. I don't know if you've seen his Instagram recently.
He'd be Sleepy Joe at the moment.
He's living in Byron somewhere, working at a cafe.
His last game, he cannot finish on a better note, and no footballer does that, do they? Really,
he would not have kicked a footy since that day.
Well,
he would not have looked at one.
It reminds me, just briefly, I was reading during the week of a story of Stuart Dew, who had finished footy at the AFL level, and Clarko had hatched a plan to get him across to Hawthorn.
Yeah. I
think it's Andrew Russell, who was, I stand corrected, was the fitness guy. And anyway, Stewie had to lose the best part of like 20 to 30 kilos, they said.
And that's where he got to. Imagine where he was.
So, it was a huge... And fast forward to 2008, grand final, he did his hamstring during the game.
Did he?
He did his hamstring during the game as a hamstring strain. And so Clarko wanted him to move up to the wing, and he said, I can't run. So the runner went up and said to him, look, just stay in the forward line. And as it turns out, he kicked, I think, 2 goals, third quarter. Yeah. So these are the footy stories that you love. I know we're going a bit away from the subject matter, but yeah, they're the sort of areas.
He's not doing anything. Joe's not doing anything.
No, I don't think so. Joe's a
Sleepy Joe. It's Sleepy Joe. That's proper Sleepy Joe. The last one that I was looking at was, of course, our good friend Harley Reid. So this has been bubbling around this week. What's new? The rumours are that it's a 2-year deal on the table with a trigger for a 10-year deal post that.
It's a big trigger.
The trigger on this, mate, like the trigger is irrelevant. The trigger could say, buddy, $50 million over 20 years. Like he can walk away, West Coast can walk away. They've got to sign him for the 2 years. That should be their major priority. And if it means they sign him for $2 million each year and they pay $4 million for 2 years, I think that's money well spent. Now, if they don't do that and Harley wants to leave, they're going to get a lot for him. I'm hearing that West Coast aren't really budging on that deal. I don't think West Coast are overly happy with the deal that's in front of them.
The 2-year deal, you're saying?
The 2-year part of it. So whether or not they find a middle ground, but I think right now Harley and his management have a number that West Coast don't agree on. West Coast are here and they're struggling to get to the middle.
I think they'll get to the middle before the end of the year. I'm absolutely confident they won't let this drag through next year. Either way, now whether it's a yay or a nay, I just don't think we're going to get into.
They'll get either end. So they'll do the deal or he's gone.
I think so. I think by the end of this, I just don't think you can let this play out through anywhere through next year. So
sorry to cut you off. Can you get traded after? Can you get traded after 2 years?
Well, Jason on Francis after one.
That's a good point.
So that's a sort of an example in point. What I will say is that the dollars don't bother me that much, even though if you break it down, essentially Harley could get about an eighth of the salary cap at some point in his career, which is big. You know, Juddy, I think, had about 13%. He's around an eighth if that all plays out as the numbers are being touted. The Eagles have to pay, upwards of 90% of the salary cap. So given the current list they have, if you're going to pay that amount, there's not too many, with all due respects, and you know that McGovern's retired, you know that Elliot Yeo, not sure how long left given his body. There's not too many quality players left in that lineup who you want to pay big bucks to.
Especially over the next 2 years. You're not just going to come out of nowhere.
So, yeah, on that basis, it's a lot of money, but I would still be saying, Harley, if you want to stick here long term, we want you, we love you, but we want to get an idea as to whether you're hedging your bets or whether if you want to go to Hawthorn, let us know sort of at some point in the near future.
We spoke to Liam Duggan last night on the live show. Two pretty big areas of topics we touched on with Oscar Allen and Harley. What he said about Harley was that he's just unbelievably invested in the footy club and he's trying to get better and he's buying into the team and. You know, Duggo was sort of saying he'd never seen any kid like it.
And I've heard the same thing from various people attached to the Eagles about, forget about the footy side of it and forget about the behaviour on the field, which within a week he got so much criticism. Within a week he reined it in. I mean, and you got all these all these people going so hard at the 20-year-old, I say 20-year-old young man, but you know, we're all allowed to. Man, I'm still learning at 55. You're 35, and you've still
both got no idea.
You know, you're still finding out things about yourself and how to improve as a person. Harley's at the other. He's down there, so expect him to improve in that area, and expect him to go through some dips. But I think the word I heard, apart from the footy side of it, is that he's got a good heart. There, you know, obviously there's the Adam Selwood moment, and he got in touch with, you know, one of his line coaches, and just to see how they're going. So they're little things. I think if he adds to the character and the culture of the club, which by all accounts he does, that's not insignificant.
The other little nugget was Duggo said he reckons Oscar Allen stays. I suppose he's not going to get up on stage and say he's going. Yeah, you're right. So is he staying or going?
Oh, you think he's? Well, I think you've gone from being he's out the door to now you're feeling a bit.
Well, I don't know. Like literally everything, I have no idea.
When will that be announced? After the home and away season, straight away?
You'd think just when,
after
when's trade period?
After the F&B.
Maybe, I don't know. Ideally, you're not getting up on stage with the gun in his back again. So I'd like to apologise to all the fans.
Stop going.
You see the curtains, there's a gun pointing out, and Oscar gets...
Poor old Eagles, I've got to do that, the Warsaw medal again. And you know when you go through the highlights of the year, it's hard.
Be a quick night, I reckon. You got to shove it up. All right, there we go. Skeeter, our good sponsors joining us today. Aspect Accountants, of course, bringing us the numbers for the rest of the season. Make sure you get in and see Ben and the team at Aspect Accountants. They will look after you, whether it's a side hustle, whether it's a small business, whether it's big, medium or large, they can look after you. One of the best in the business, Ben. And the team at Aspect Accountants, just jump onto aspectaccountants.com.au to go and find them. And of course, Homewise Solar, the guarantees of the week. Make sure you stay in tune for those. We're 0 from 2 to start this partnership, Skeeter.
Jeez, I tell you what, you're a 0, and I reckon my numbers are bloody good.
So are you 1, are you? Did you guarantee happen, did it?
I reckon...
You can't lie.
No, I said I thought it'd be the lowest Thursday night crowd this year. Guaranteed that. Okay. Now, if it's not, I'll take that. Okay. If it's not, I reckon they fudged the figures anyway, whatever they did. Because there weren't 20,347 there. Anyway, that's fine. I'll take a 0 just so you don't get flustered.
Yeah, okay, Skater. You're on 0. Homewise Solar, the guarantee of the week will be coming out.
You're on a 3.
Yeah, I am. I'm minus a lot in my guarantees. But look for those. All right, let's get into games of footy, Skater. Let's start here in the West. Fremantle v West Coast in the Derby. It's rivalry round this week, unofficially. Optus Stadium, 2:15 Saturday. Feels like we haven't had one of these Saturday day games in a Derby for a while. So looking forward to this, Skeeter. Usually turns the state upside down for a little bit, but given West Coast's latest performance, I think there's a little bit of interest waning on this one. Thanks to Aspect Accountants, some numbers for you, Skeeter. Fremantle currently has the worst percentage of the top 9. They're a good 7 or 8 percentage points down. So can they use this game to boost that, or is that thinking too far ahead?
Yeah, the latter. Oh, and you just got to win the game. And I know you had some concerns and have some concerns about how they will perform this week. And so do I, just off the back of the emotional win against Collingwood. And look, a derby should bring out your best. But yeah, I think that if you're being sensible, I know you tipped the Eagles last night at the Leadville Hotel just to get a bit of a reaction. But you won't be tipping them in your footy tipping this week, I can guarantee, because given you your promise to the punters that, you know, every tip, you know, is $10. So it's a financial consideration for you.
You can't talk me out of a tip. I can do as I please.
Yeah, you won't be tipping the Eagles.
I can do as I please. And if you continue down that line, I'll bloody tip him.
Good. Look, Freo's trailed at three-quarter time in the last 4 games. And that's a concern, but it's also a credit to what they've been able to... you can look at it both ways.
Because they've won 3 of them, right?
Exactly.
So, yeah, I think that's good. In terms of matchups in this derby, look, I think it'd be interesting to see what Freo's midfield looks like, whether they play Hayden Young from the start, whether they sub him again or whether they play him and then sub him out.
Hammer's putting out the fact he should start and then sub him out of the game. Are you... I mean, you still want to... Look, you just got to protect him. 11 disposals in a quarter. He's clearly... In the last quarter last week, he's clearly got so much... to give that midfield.
He was involved in 4 of their 7 scores after coming on last week, so that's what he adds.
Yes.
Offensive I don't know, Pearcing taking the game on, and he's going to have to.
Well, Matt Johnson's missing because of injury. So if you're looking at a like for like in terms of midfield position, then he certainly becomes the obvious option. Who comes out of that? Who comes into the squad as a sub? I mean, Dudley kicked a couple of goals, I think, last week against East Fremantle. Was it East Fremantle they played? Hard to remember. But yeah, they'll find their way there. Yeah, Young's the question, but it's not. It's a pleasant problem to have. And again, they've been lucky with their sub. They haven't had to use their subs early, have they?
Oh, jeez, you've put the mozzer on that.
No, touching wood, they haven't had to. So on that basis, that's where the 5 factor was a concern, because his body's not up to 4 quarters at the moment. You don't think so? Anyway, Young is the question mark. The matchups. Look, you've got the 2 ruckmen. That's where the damage could be done. Darcy and Jackson. Matt Flynn was okay, I thought, at times.
He will be up against those 2 players.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Either end of the ground, there's matchups. Harry Edwards, I think, probably goes to Voss. Edwards to Tracy, Jinby to Voss. And we heard from Duggo last night, Jinby's been getting the most dangerous and Harry's been getting the biggest. That's how they look at it. So they're both big boys. That's why it took me a little bit. Who's the biggest out of Tracy and Voss? Who's the biggest? And they're both actually quite similar. Tracy, maybe.
I'd say Tracy just on the eye, and Amos becomes. Look, Amos is in no man's land a bit, and maybe he's the one that, if he can get off the chain, but we haven't seen enough of him to have confidence.
He's struggling at the moment.
Yeah.
Still.
Would a stint in the waffle be worth it, or is that just not on the radar at all?
I guess they'd be just hoping that he can work his way through it. He's still a young player. He's a key position player.
Takes an important defender in every week.
Yeah, and they'll be well aware that he's not in great form. But I guess, okay, well, you go back to the waffle and get in great form, but then you bring him back in and the same thing happens. You're almost hoping that you're just able to grind through it and he gets a bit of confidence and then they build it and build it and build it. But if it continues, you got to look at it. Harley Reid is like, he's their best player. And so last week, Jack Ross came on, tagged him out of the game. I don't know if Freo send a tagger straight to him. Like, maybe it's the same as Richmond playbook where they see if he goes well and gets off the chain. But the game that West Coast won last year, it was off the back of Harley Reid, wasn't it? And they'll know that. And I think I'm very much, take out the opposition's strengths sort of guy. That's why I like taggers and I like jobs, people getting jobs and getting it done. Like, look at Geelong, stop Cameron, stop Stewart, stop Holmes, and you're halfway there.
But it's easier said than done sometimes, yeah.
But West Coast there's
one person. There's only one player that really puts the fear into opposition sides, and that's Harley, that's where they're at, the 20-year-old. So I think straight away, do the Jack Ross situation, get someone
Wagner.
Get Wagner onto him early. And look, if that doesn't work, then you can go to plan B. But go to the don't wait for something to go wrong. Get on the front foot, I agree.
Who are you tipping, and the medal choice as well, Skeeter? Unless you're voting on it?
No, I'm not voting. I've put in place the judges for this. So
you choose the judges?
Well, I get a bit of a say in it, yeah. So anyway.
You're just a big dog in West Australian footy. Like, just seriously, you're like the puppet master. You're just like, I'll put this person here and I'll do this. I'll put these socials together over here.
Socials. I don't do socials, you idiot. Peter Bell, Mark McGrath and Jackson Barrett are the 3 judges, so we wish them well. Jackson with the West Australian.
Mate, I've done it a couple. I hate doing it. It's a shocking job.
Yeah,
it makes me nervous.
You have to want to do it, and some get it right, some don't get it right, and you just got to roll the punches. So
there's a few in West Australian footy not getting asked back to do it. like Ross Glendenning probably not getting votes anymore. I mean, he butchered it.
Great man. The way, he wasn't. Well, he wasn't actually a judge on the day. I don't think.
Yeah, he just awarded it himself.
Good on Roscoe. I love Roscoe. So Eagles to get rolled. Unlike you,
how much? I want a margin as well.
Because I'm calling the game and I want it to be a decent amount. I'm hoping it's under 7 goals. So I'll go.
What do you think? You're a smart man. What?
I think it'll be 7 goals. There you go. 7 goals. That's close to 40 to 50 points.
Okay.
And the Glendenning Allen medal. Oh, if you look at what the Dockers have done, look, I'll go outside the square and say Luke Jackson, because we could easily say Sarong for number 5 or Brayshaw for another one, but I will go with Luke Jackson.
If Homewise Solar guarantee you something in this game, and it's outrageous and it happens, what are you going to do for me?
I don't know. I want to hear what it is first.
Well, it's outrageous.
Well, go, and then I'll give you my verdict.
Thanks to Homewise Solar, who will save you money. I can guarantee you that. Both in solar on top of your house. They got solar batteries now. Steve was telling me last night that there's government subsidies in place now, so you can get it really cheap if you do that. What's the solar battery in my Skeeter?
What is it?
I don't have a great deal of an idea, but I know people will. I think you can store your solar power and then you can use it for other things.
I just turn the light switch on.
Just to remind you, Steve and the team at Homewise Solar are the experts.
I know that.
So don't get in contact with me and Skeeter about this. You need to get in contact with Steve. But Homewise Solar, guarantee of the week from Scoey. West Coast win. I'm serious. I'm serious.
Can I give you a guarantee in the same match?
Yes.
The West Coast Eagles, I can guarantee you a West Coast Eagle will not win the Glendenning Allen medal.
I mean...
Well, you have a guarantee they're going to win it.
I think West Coast win, Harley Reid wins the medal. And I guarantee it.
What will be the response from the 45,000 strong crowd if he wins a medal and West Coast Eagles win?
I just have a fear. I've said this since Monday on every bloody show I'm on. I just have this feeling that West Coast internally.
So logically and with clarity in your thought now,
yes.
Can you give us a reason why you think they can outplay the opposition?
I guarantee they win. Well, I actually think it's less to do with the outplaying. I think they were exposed by Richmond on the weekend by really fast ball movement. And I think Freo have struggled to do that this year. I don't think Freo have the fast ball movement as their plan A, like Richmond did. I think it's a slower game. And I also think after the Hawthorn game, after the Collingwood game, that emotionally it's difficult to maintain the rage. They will know, Freo, that they are a way better side than West Coast, and they are. And this is a very winnable game. They should win by 7, 8, 10 goals. I just think that internally West Coast are treating this like Freo used to treat them when they were getting beaten up all the time. And can you remember last year? You remember they got this fixture last year, the first one. West Coast were just absolutely no chance, and they rolled them. They absolutely smoked them. So I'm not saying they're going to smoke them, but I guarantee West Coast Eagles win thanks to Homewise Solar.
Just quickly on the ball movement aspect, and I'll just touch on this. The Dockers showed some real bravado in the last quarter. I was really interested to hear Craig McRae's comments after the game. It almost sounded, look, I don't think he was trying to be condescending, but he said, they should play like that more often. It just had that, I don't know,
No, it was arrogance.
That tone of condescending, as if, they should play like that more often. And I just thought, Collingwood, seriously, they're a great side, very good, well-coached side, average age of 28, they're well-drilled, they got the cowboy tackle happening, everything, they know what to do in the right moments.
You don't need the head wobble.
If you're the opposition coach and listening to that, even any coach, you're going, you're sort of disrespecting what they did, and so they should play like that more often. Piss off.
So I'm tipping West Coast.
You are?
By 2 points, and Harley Reid for the medal.
Wow.
And so who's your tip for the medal?
Why?
I wasn't listening.
No, I said Luke Jackson. You would have heard me say Luke Jackson.
I was worried about the guarantee.
Luke Jackson, and I said the Dockers by 7 goals. Now that's probably...
And you guarantee a West Coast player doesn't win the medal?
Yeah, I'll guarantee you that, and I'll guarantee you'll see West Coast Eagles supporters on the train before, at three-quarter time.
I'd like an apology on the podcast if I'm right. That's what I'd like.
You'll get more than an apology. I will take you out for drink somewhere.
Dinner?
Not dinner.
Well, dinner.
I don't want to spend a whole night with you.
You idiot. Drinks, and you'll bloody make me pull past a bottle and you'll be getting the bloody, not even full strength Coke, there'll be bloody the Woolies cola. Here we go. Yeah. No ice. Yeah, it'll be shit. Yeah, perfect. Look forward to it. Anyway, we'll see what happens, Skater.
Yeah.
yeah, we will. Yeah. There we go. All right, Skate. Have a few tickets left on that BackChat bus, by the way, so get onto it. You can jump onto links in the socials for that. All the details are there. Let's get into the rest of the week, Skater. Hawthorn v Carlton, MCG tonight. I actually like the fact that it's Sam Doherty's last game. It adds a bit more interest to this one. I think Hawthorn are a much better side than Carlton, Sam Doherty, this will be his last game. He's played 184 games after tonight, 1 All-Australian, 1 Best and Fairest, 3 years co-captain through pretty tough times on field. He's had 3 ACLs. He's gone through testicular cancer bouts. He's had a pretty rough trot of it off the field, but I think probably, that aside, he's been a brilliant player. So it's good to see him bow out and hopefully a good night, I suppose.
Yeah, and always nice to see the video of players in the rooms telling their players. And I saw the piece from Carlton with Sam, the doc, talking to Patrick Cripps, and there's a lot of emotion there. There always is when you have a farewell speech. Look, they get Harry Mackay back, Blake Acres. Will Day returns for Hawthorn. That is hugely important for them, because we know going back early in the season we talked about the numbers when he's in terms of winning, and when he's not there, they've found a way to obviously win without him. But gee, it's a good bonus to have coming back into September. Yes,
I agree. Jacob Wiedering's 200th game, 2 Best and Fairest. What?
Just with Hammer last night and how he pronounced his name. Do you remember that?
What did he say?
Jacob
Wiedering.
He's an idiot.
He's Dutch.
Anyway, Jacob Wiedering is a sound play. I think the Blues will, if there's any reason to show something this week, and Charlie's getting a bit more of the footy, they're not going to be able to change their style of play. I think earlier in the season, Hawthorn got them on the outside. That'll probably happen again. Hawthorn win, but I expect if they don't show some spirit tonight, the Blues, then you'd be pretty poor effort given the contribution that Doherty's made over so long.
Aspect Accountants bringing us the numbers. Will Day is back for the Hawks. Hawks are 16-4 in the last 20 matches he's played with Will Day on the side. So
yeah, I did say that. Yeah, when
I don't listen to.
Maybe just listen to something. I said Will Day back. We talked about earlier in the season about how when he plays, their numbers are better. Anyway, it's like go into a cave. Hello. It just reverberates and comes back.
What's the cave? My head. Is that right? Is that what it is? My skull.
It's a very empty tunnel.
Well, I mean,
listen. Okay, when I speak, I'll try and speak slower. So I know you're looking at the stats here, so I get that. But
I'm trying to run this bloody whatever this is, this show, and you're filling, and sometimes your voice just. It's just talking about reverberating.
It does happen to me on radio, because at times when people are talking, you're looking at the SMSs, people abusing you, and then I bring something up and Paps or you laugh at me and go, I just said that.
Great. Well, I'm shocking with it. Anyway, thanks for the insight, Skater. Who are you picking? Hawthorn.
Hawthorn to win.
Did you already say that?
Yeah, no.
Essendon v the Bulldogs.
I'm not wasting any time on this. It's Essendon, seriously, they got a Friday night game now. How do they get a Thursday or Friday night? You were just subjected to the Bombers.
What's going on? I mean, luckily for us, there is a double up. Well, sort of.
And it's also an important game for the Dogs to try and, well, their percentage is okay, but, they've just got to get back to what they do best, and their metrics have fallen in the last month. We know they're not great against the best teams in the competition, but they'll beat up on this mob.
Bombers have lost their last 3 at Marvel Stadium by an average of 60 points, and we know what the Bulldogs do against those sides, don't we? The Dogs beat the Bombers by 91 points earlier in the year.
Yeah, no.
Bailey Dale had 49 touches in that game.
That's right, the 49 touch man.
Move on.
Yeah, and I think Bevo's just got to get this in brief, because they're the team that is likely to miss out on the 8. A lot of talk about how good they are offensively. Their midfield is great. Their defence is not so good, but yeah. Can Bevo conjure one last little trick to get them rolling in the last month?
Starting 20 or 30 minutes later is the GWS Sydney game, same night. The Battle of the Bridge is Friday night. You're looking surprised.
Well, I'm just not sure why we had the double up, to be totally honest.
Well, probably because of that reaction. Who wants to bloody watch the Bulldogs Essendon?
Yeah, but why? Yeah, this was done 7 or 8 weeks ago. We would have thought, why can't the Giants and the Swans be a standalone on Friday night? Are we in Victoria? Are they that turned off by watching 2 interstate clubs?
Yeah, I don't know, but like the showdown's the same. They don't have that standalone.
They don't. They hardly ever have. I'm not sure if that's the broadcasters, whether it's Seven, whether it's Fox, or whether the AFL is
trying to fit the news in. Are we still? Is that what's happening?
No idea. Maybe it's the bounce. I've got no idea.
Just like I speak to Charlie. Can you give Mr. Stokes a call, please?
Well,
you give Packer a call if you want.
Chris Jones runs 7 Sport and Gary O'Keefe runs the AFL.
You want speed dial? Skeeter, what do you want, mate? Skeeter, what can I do for you?
I'm low maintenance, mate. Sometimes they know who I am, but quite often it's just a distant voice in WA.
Parker Eddings, been working here for 30 years. GWS, Sydney, NG Stadium. Sydney have won the last 5 Battle of the Bridges thanks to Aspect Accountants, Skeeter. Since round 13, the Swans have scored 50% of their inside 50s, from 50% of their inside 50s, ranked number 1 and up from 17th between rounds 0 to 12. So they've completely flipped that on their head in terms of how efficient they are inside 50 and score. I'm trying to think of why that would be. They must have, that's got to be game style. There's been some players that come back in, but I don't think too significant. Like Goulden, yes, Mills, yes, but it doesn't flip you from 17th to 1st. So they must have really changed how they were going inside and how they were actually getting it in. Maybe some midfield dominance as well. Giants are hopeful that Jesse Hogan, Josh Kelly and Sam Taylor will return. They're big ins, and Tom Papley is a test to return from that hamstring. So some big ins potentially this
I'm not sure about Tom. If he's done a hamstring, he only did that injury again. When did they play? Was it 3 weeks?
No, that was 3 weeks. That's a 21-dayer.
So this is touch and go, but you think he'll get up?
It was a normal hammy he'll play, yep.
Okay. Interesting here. The Giants' last 3 wins against the Swans have come by a combined 4 points. So they've had trouble with Sydney, irrespective of where they play.
So Sydney's won the last 5, and one of them was in the final last year.
And they came from, I think, 4 or 5 goals down.
Long way down.
So this is, and there's nothing, I've loved the Giants' social media team come up, and there's a banner they put on their socials this week, which suggested that we might have got to 1 and lost 1, but Sydney, you've been pumped twice in grand final.
Is that right?
Oh,
I did that this week.
Now that could be an old banner, but there's always some good niggle between. The Giants' social media team are really quite quirky, and I like that. And the Swans, they hate them. They genuinely hate the Giants.
They're like grumpy, like more sensible, older sibling that's like, mate,
exactly.
Stop carrying on.
It's good though. No, you don't. I think it's great. It's like you and me. You're carrying on.
Who's the sensible one? You?
Well, clearly.
What do you mean?
Well, mate, I'm not. I think a bit more mature. Don't do this.
Yeah, mature, right? Yeah, absolutely.
More mature.
Yeah, definitely more mature. I think that.
No, but it's like
I can say that.
It's like a younger bloke. Hey, Scully, just settle down. Don't go on. You're not going to run the AFL. You want to take on the umpires. You want to take on social media. You want to, get up and about. I love it. I love watching it. But sometimes I just give you a little pat on the head. Say, settle down, Scully.
That's very good.
Picking the Giants, because I'm hoping the Giants win, because I think they're a side that, if they're playing really good footy in the finals, will be good to watch.
Yeah, so I mean, just say, I picked the Giants as well, but just say Sydney did win, that they're going to get to a stage if they keep winning that they're not going to play finals, and then they go, geez, this has been a wasted season. Like they started so poor, they couldn't get their shit together, and now they've changed it all around. But
what it will do if they can finish off the year in the same tone is it gives them a really good launching pad for next year. Obviously, injuries played a massive part, and Coxie, I think he's proven that when he has a decent list there, it might have a little dip, and I think they can bounce pretty quickly.
Yeah, I think that's like pretty. I know Chris Scott did it at Geelong, came in and won a flag basically, but I reckon most coaches like I think Simo came in 14, we missed finals, and then we made grand final next year. Yeah. Maybe it looks like that for Sydney, I don't know. Gold Coast v Brisbane, People's First Stadium. That is Gold Coast home ground. This is the Q Clash Saturday Arvo, of course. So does this clash with the Derby? They got the Q Clash clashing with the Derby?
No, this is 11:20. So this match finishes and then it rolls straight into the next game.
Thank you very much. Brisbane have won 12 of the last 13 Q Clashes by an average of 42 points, thanks to Aspect Accountants. Is this the biggest Q clash ever with what's on the line, given where these two sides are on the ladder?
Probably, and it probably was early this season. It was a really low-scoring slog up at the Gabba, and I think on that night, and it's going to be some more rain on the Gold Coast. Not that I'm sort of keeping an eye on the weather there.
Why are you so across the weather? Like I just keep an eye. I just try and take all the factors into account. Interested why you are so across the weather. How would you know what the weather's doing in Gold Coast? Like, what do you sit down and watch the weather?
No, I don't.
How do you know that?
Because I looked up. I thought, what's the forecast for Saturday for the Q Clash? Because I reckon
is it to do with betting? Do you need to know what the horses are doing?
No, I don't.
I just find it bizarre that you're just so across how.
But some bloke rang up Wallace Sports last night and said, "Oh, the wet weather on Saturday."
Yeah, and you had an answer straight away. No, this is what's going to be at 11:13. Like, what?
Because I had a look at the start of the week and it said it's going to be fine. So I'm going, mate, just ease off the rain. It's not happening. So in this case, I'm just saying it's like weather's going to be a bit problematical. So I just think the bigger bodies of Brisbane, and look, Gold Coast, if they don't show a response after last week, I'll be very surprised because they were putrid against Adelaide. And even Dimmer said, every team gets kicked in the nurry, so to speak, from time to time that I've coached. It's a good side. But
he's a good deflector, Dimmer Hardwick.
Oh, yeah.
He's a great, we deserve that loss. It's always going to happen.
Yeah.
You think he's happy about not scoring a goal in the first half? No. I reckon he would have been spewing, but he's a deflector.
Yeah, but this is part of Brisbane's tough run home. And they've got, they had the Bulldogs, but they took care of. I still don't think they're playing super footy. But I trust them more than I trust the Suns. And I think that big brother you talked about element is very much in vogue with the Brisbane Lions who... the ladder predictors and betting markets, for what it's worth, they've got, we'll get to Adelaide finishing as the minor premiers. So
really?
Yeah, we're ahead of Collingwood. So according to those who know it better than us, then Brisbane are on a really tough task just to finish top two.
Can you guarantee if there's going to be rain or not? Can you give me a Homewise Solar guarantee? I know you've already given one, but can you give it...
If there's going to be rain?
Yeah.
Yeah, there'll be rain Saturday.
So you guarantee it?
I'll guarantee it. If there's, absolutely.
At the Q Clash?
At the Q Clash. There'll be some form of rain.
Guaranteed.
Precipitation, dew, whatever you want to call it, will be there.
Stuart or just the moisture variety?
I've tipped Brisbane, thank you.
I pick Brisbane. Yeah. Pick Brisbane. That'll be a good game. North Melbourne, Geelong. Talking about good games. This is not one of them.
It's a marvel, at least. If it was a Geelong, it'd be an absolute bloodbath.
Well, it's going to be a close game, is it? North Melbourne, Geelong, Marvel, Saturday night. Patrick Dangerfield's 200th match for Geelong. 154.
Did he have something?
Yeah, 154 for Adelaide, so he's 354. You don't celebrate the 200 in the jersey, I don't think. Geelong have won their past 13 matches against North by an average of 45 points back to 2016. So that's going well. Tail of the tape there. They haven't won in 10 years. North Melbourne against Geelong. Tom Stewart's expected to play, even though he was subbed off with that knee last week. Nick Larkey is hopeful of a return off the back of a knee. North haven't won a night game. I mean, some of these stats are hilarious, thanks to Aspect Accountants. North haven't won a night game since 2019. They haven't won a night
2019?
Yeah,
That's 6 years ago.
They've lost their last 23 night games. That's a big stat.
That's amazing.
What are they doing? What are they rolling out of bed? Are they getting up too late? That's bizarre.
This haven't been any good, have they? Let's be honest.
That's a good point. Anything else to say?
No, Geelong, they've got a good run. They've got a really good run. And this is, I'm not sure if their percentage is in question, but they just have to stay healthy, and they're top four. You look at their run home and think they're top four lock almost.
You just you got to admire that footy club. They're just always there.
They don't know. This rebuild is not even on their vocabulary.
Yeah, and who else are they adding? Are they adding Raul and?
No, I don't think Raul's
coming. I know Raul's signed,
but
there's other people. Harley Reid's going there.
There's always someone attached to Geelong, isn't there?
And it's like the best trade thing. It's like Geelong are interested.
Is it that good? You live there? Is it the country lifestyle or what is it? It's cold.
I actually.
Why is it so attractive to people in terms of footballers?
Well, I would say winning is attractive.
Winning's attractive. The money's no better than you get at other places.
It's not money. Maybe lifestyle. I don't know. Yeah, I'd say winning is a predeterminer of wanting to go there. Adelaide v Port Adelaide, Adelaide Oval, Saturday night. This is the showdown. I think the best rivalry in footy has been for some time now. Regardless, so West Coast and Freo, it always feels like one's going no good and one's going well, and then it's a poor game. Regardless of where these two sides are, this is always a good game.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to watching this one. It's Jordan Dawson's 150th. Can Ken Hinkley get the boys up in his last showdown?
Yeah, good question. And look, they're probably, personnel-wise, not at their healthiest. They were brave against Hawthorn for 3 quarters. You're right, they'll find a way to lift to another level. But Adelaide, they are playing some super footy, and we always talk about their offensive capabilities, and their midfield, which, with Dawson and Rankin and their midfield ability to provide inside 50s. Their defence has been, I'm sure you would have taken note of this, their defence in the last 2 months particularly, I think they're restricting opposition teams about 60-plus points. So think of Worrell, we think of Mark Keane, who...
Gun.
When you say gun...
No, I love him.
But not a name of any reputation around the league or around the country, but they are getting absolutely their jobs done in defence, and that has helped them become not just finalists, but they become smokies to go deep. And I'm talking really deep.
Yeah, really deep.
Well, prelim finals territory. That's with this side the way they're playing. You're going to get possibly a top 2 finish. When you do that, that's when you start uncorking the lid and saying, okay, we're about to launch into a premiership. Possibly.
Who's Frankie Worrell? Josh Worrell.
Frank Worrell was a cricketer.
Yes. So I reckon Josh's nickname is Frankie. So he's one of these guys that plays in the back line and just absolutely chops them apart.
Worrell, Keane. Worrell and Keane are the 2 guys that defensively.
They're like Michelini's elite. Hinge is a lockdown guy. Nick Murray, like that.
The one-on-one contests in more recent times, they're hardly losing. The numbers are off the charts for what Adelaide is doing defensively, offensively. We know how good they are. And Matty Nix is, look, again, it's just patience with the coach. And this is what is bearing fruit. And a bit like Fremantle, and Fremantle may not be at that level yet in a couple of categories. But, yeah, Matty Nix, I'm happy for him because he was under the pump heading into this year.
That's why you back him in more times than not. But Michael Voss will probably be the next one on the agenda there. I don't think it looks overly good for Vossi, but probably because he's had years there. It's not like it's his first year.
Ross Lyon with St Kilda, he's this master coach, Alistair Clarkson, master coach. You've got to have the players. And at this point, North and St Kilda, irrespective, those master coaches or super coaches haven't got the results just yet.
Port Adelaide, smoky to win this, I reckon. Okay. Just with a bit more emotion on the line, and Ken Hinkley's last.
It's not his last game, but I get what you're saying. Adelaide, I can only go on form. I'm not trying to,
I'm trying to make up spots. I'm picking Port Adelaide.
Is that are you tipping them in your footy tipping? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, what's it to you? It doesn't really matter.
No, I don't want you to be financially going to Aspect Accountants under duress with your end of year.
Let's start shuffling the cash, boys, and to pay these debts. So I'm picking Port. Richmond v Collingwood, MCG. Look, I don't know how this one plays out. Jack Crisps is 250th. No. Guarantee. I do. Noah Malta's available for the rest of the season. No more night games. He is.
I'm glad he hasn't played for North Melbourne either. Imagine that, because they can't win at night and they can't have him.
Who gives a stuff? I pick Collingwood. Do we have to talk about it?
Richmond's shooting for 3 wins in a row. I've got no stats in front of me on this, but I'm guessing that's 3 wins in a row. They wouldn't have done that for best part of 3 years, and I could be completely wrong on that. But Collingwood, a little bit of a dip in a couple of matches, but they've beaten by a combined total of 7 points. So let's not get too flustered about Collingwood. Bobby Hill's absence continues. Looks like he'll continue to play in the VFL. We know there's been some personal stuff with him, home stuff. So yeah, whether that not just him playing footy, but whether he's in the right headspace moving forward. I'm not sure where De Goey's at in terms of him playing.
Well, he was about to come back and he got knocked out by Bruzzy.
That's right. That's the last we've heard of him, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not ideal.
Motel Mexicola.
Collingwood, he's not in Hotel Mexicola, even though that's where you and I would rather. But Alex is over there right now in Bali. She's in Bali.
My wife's going in a couple of weeks.
What's she doing over there?
Well, she's going she said to me at dinner 3 weeks ago, do you mind if I go with my girlfriends to Bali? My first words were, yes. You go. Yes, you go.
Oh, yeah.
I said, yes, go. Yet if I try and go with you...
Imagine if you and I just went home next week.
We're going to go for 5 days.
We're off to Bali, girls. Imagine the carry-on.
Oh.
Imagine the carry-on.
It'd be World War VII.
So I'm copping photos from Alex. She's having her bloody mangoes and looking at the beach. And I'm like, awesome. That's great. Like, have the best time. Imagine reversing you and I sitting at Motel Mexicola. Something we enjoy doing.
Or the Boxing Day Test or the Melbourne Cup.
Imagine the vitriol we'd cop back.
How much have you been drinking today? That's the first thing I'll be asked.
When are you going to be home?
Exactly.
What time are you going home?
What time are you home? So guess what? That is normal. So at least we're not living with people who go, well, this is weird. That is a normal female reaction, and ours is a normal male reaction, is you don't answer the phone sometimes.
So if you're on YouTube right now, you're listening along and you like me and Skeeter, just let us know. I'd like to just see a bit of a show of hands, if you're the same basket. And maybe we could get a trip to Bali all together. We go, look, guys, we've spoken about the Shadow FootyCast. What we're going to do is we're going to go to Bali and we're going to have a good time.
Just
That's
the boys.
Okay with
just the boys?
Yeah, just the boys, absolutely.
You reckon that'll get off the ground?
Boys trip.
Probably not.
St Kilda, Melbourne, Marvel, we're off the rails here. Stephen May, he's out 3 weeks. but he was concussed, so he would have been out anyway.
You haven't really gone into that. You're not happy with it? Do you think they'll appeal? Do you reckon there's
no appeal. I'm not overly happy with it. I don't think that those actions should be suspended. I think that it's an outcome-based decision. But given where it's all bloody at and given where the AFL is, I just think it'd be very difficult to get that to zero.
Yeah, I'm confused.
I was surprised.
There was a 930-plus word explanation.
How many of the words did you read?
About 4. The reasonable player tag's been put there.
Garbage.
And, I just want to simplify it, I suppose, just to have to say now, if you get concussed by an opposition player, maybe you're suspended. That then people know. Or how does the Alex Pearce incident fit into what happens? I know they're different cases. I just can't work out how you drew the Pearce incident and put a separate one to May.
They don't look at precedent, and it's dumb. And I know you don't think I can run the AFL, and maybe that's true, Skater. Maybe it's not. But if you start using precedent, it gives... That's why in legal systems they use precedent, because it gives consistency. You know what you can and can't do. That's what law is about. They approach these incidents individually and they go, oh, Alex Pearce has got nothing to do with it. It was a different game. It has everything to do with it. And it's a perfect example of what to look at. It was almost identical.
But the problem is, in the cases we've had queries over, just quickly, Paul Curtis, highly unusual. Jackson Archer, which you've been strong on this year.
Yep.
Alex Pearce, again, different to all those other two. And now Stephen May again. So they're all different in their own way. That's why we'll probably have... It seems to be that'll continue down the track. But you're right. Have we had precedents? That's why the Alex Pearce one, to me, stands out as an outlier as opposed to what we've seen with May and others this year.
Okay, very good. St Kilda beat Melbourne by 28 points in Alice Springs.
Traeger Park, yes.
7 weeks ago. So that's what we're doing right now.
And Messiah Wanganeen Millera is the hottest property in footy outside of H. Reid.
Is he out the door? He must be out the door.
Well, I hope for St Kilda's sake he's not, because
why wouldn't he have signed? For what reason? We know he's good. He's their best player. Why wouldn't he have signed?
Bont's only just re-signed, hasn't he, this week?
That's a good point.
So I think I'm going to say this. I think he stays at St Kilda.
Guarantee it. In that. I don't care about this game. I really don't.
Well, nor do the punters. That's why Melbourne don't need to appeal, because May's missing. They're not playing finals. And if you're the treasurer of Melbourne, don't spend the 10K or whatever and then lose it and then for no reason.
I will watch almost all footy. I won't watch a minute of this. I couldn't care less. St Kilda.
Yeah, I'm picking St Kilda. Great. For some reason, Marvel is their better venue. They've lost, I think, 10 of their last 11. The figures are terrible.
Shelter Brewing Co. beer fresh from the Busselton foreshore. Will Schofield, Mark Redding's Shelter FootyCast. All right, Skate, let's finish off with some questions and comments from our fans. We met some of them last night. It was brilliant to see you down at the Leadable Hotel. Keep getting involved with the show. Put your comments on YouTube if you're watching along. Send us a message on Instagram. Shelter FootyCast is our socials, or you can send us an email, footycast@backchatstudios.com.au. Loop JB on YouTube. Anyone who thinks Longmuir should be given the arse, even if they miss finals from here, which is unlikely, should have their head read. They beat the Pies despite Bolton and Tracy having relatively quiet games. Their glue-type mid-tier players won that match, along with great game plan from Justin Longmuir. I thought O'Meara had his best performance of the year. Jackson and Young were excellent in the last quarter. Voss came of age yesterday, I reckon, and JL needs to absolutely be given more years on his contract.
Well, yeah, whether there's a long-term deal, we know that he's not on that setup at the moment, but by the same token, I do agree with the tone of the message, and that is, and you replace Longmuir at the end of this season for argument's sake, you've still got to go and find someone, and the players clearly like it playing for him. And now whether he's got the tactical nous, I have no idea on game day, but if he needs help in that area, get support to help him there. He's a good human being, he's a good footy person. The results are starting to stack up. Whether you're a Docker supporter or whether you're barrack for another team, I think Justin Longmuir is ticking along okay. He did need to play finals this year. That happens, and hopefully the heat goes off him for a fraction.
Freo beating Geelong in Geelong was clearly number one. I said on Monday it was the best win the club's ever had, and you were grumpy about it for some reason.
No, I just said you're wrong. How can it be the best ever win?
Well, that's what I think. Can't be wrong.
So it can be wrong because, yeah. You're putting a home and away game. Is this correspondent saying the qualifying final win?
Yeah, Freo beating Geelong, and Geelong was clearly number one. Of course. Oh, okay. I know everything. They complained until they finally got their first home final there. Everything was against Freo. Back then, Geelong's home record was ridiculous. Gave away a free kick before the ball was bounced. And being down 2 goals at quarter time, then keeping them to 3 goals the second half. Goalless in the last quarter. Nothing beats it from Cheese Twisty 13 on YouTube. I did bring this up to Jimmy Bartell. I was on 3AW on Monday, and because I rolled it out on Shelter, and then I rolled it out the same line against Jimmy. And as I was speaking, I was going, look, there was a game in Geelong. And I was like, oh, Jimmy, you know about this game in Geelong. You played it. And he goes, yeah, I did, Will. Don't bring it up, mate. It was our first final we've ever had at home. We lost, and I don't think we've had a final there since. So cheers for that. That was great. So it still cuts deep into even Jimmy Bartell.
That was a Ross Lyon masterclass, and that, you win a prelim final against Sydney at home. That was enormous atmosphere. But I think, in terms of a statement to the rest of the comp, and particularly to Geelong, that was a pretty big win.
That'll finish us, Skeeter. A bit of chat on the Bulldogs, but to be honest, they're becoming irrelevant a little bit as well. So sorry about that. I'm more looking forward to who wants to come with barley with us at the end of the year.
Can we get a sponsor with that?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, if you want to do the barley thing, I mean, you can. The next best probably is the BackChat bus.
So if we get the BackChat bus as a little prelude, and then the barley Bintang tour with Shelter as our main sponsor, of course.
Yes, correct. Barley Bintang tour brought to you by Shelter.
Anyway, we'll work on that. I think
maybe you can do that over the weekend. Like, there's some good games coming up, some derby footy, all that. But maybe you can work on perhaps a bit of a plan to put to the females, to the partners of our lives.
Yeah, my wife's going to an auction on Saturday, so I'm just going to be mindful of that.
Auction for what?
Well, a house. Yeah, I'm not going to be there though.
I hope she buys it.
I'm not going to be there.
I hope she buys it.
I'm not going to be there. I'm going to be at the.
Do you like it? Do you like the house?
I like where I am, but yeah, I like the house. Yes.
You just want to stay. You want to stay where you are. You're happy. You got your man cave.
Aren't blokes like that?
Yeah, I think so. But I hope Victoria just. I just hope. What day? Saturday. I'll check in.
I'm at Optus.
If you're listening to Channel 7, you'll tell the moment that Skeeter gets the text message saying, we got it, darling, $4.5 million. Skeeter's voice will go through the fucking room.
Oh, no, it'll be an air of despondency. Anyway, so I hope your weekend. When does Alex get back, by the way?
What's that to you?
Just want to find, because you're talking about my weekend. When does she get back? Because I know you got
she gets back Sunday night.
Mr. House Husband and all that sort of stuff with the boys. It's the house husband, that single parent sort of thing happening. Sunday night. That gives you Thursday, Friday. Gee whiz, I'm going to put that little ankle bracelet on you to see where you've been.
See you Monday, hungover.